to take the floor.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, Indonesia reiterates its opposition to the unilateral coercive measures with external effect on the sovereignty of other states and reiterates the legitimate interests of entities or persons under their jurisdiction and the freedom of trade and navigation. The prolonged imposition of the unilateral economic, commercial, and financial embargo by the United States against Cuba clearly violates the UN Charter principles of sovereignty of states, non-interference, and non-intervention. It also violates international law. In this regard, Indonesia rejects any measure aimed at further strengthening the unilateral embargo against Cuba. This includes the inclusion of Cuba in the United States list of state-sponsored terrorism, especially on the basis of inconsistent arguments and without proper evidence. Mr. President, we are at a crucial time where unilateral acts are increasing and it's becoming more unacceptable. So let me highlight a few points. First, we are at the midpoint of the 2030 agenda, with a risk that our SDG progress is being stalled by the current post-pandemic global economic uncertainty, conflicts, and climate crisis. Cuba has the right to fulfill their economic and social development, and it is intolerable to further impede this while we are collectively fighting to bring the SDG back on track and advocating to leaving no one behind. Second, the unilateral act undermines our efforts to restoring trust in multilateralism. There is nothing that speaks more than this, than a consecutive resolution which consistently and overwhelmingly receives favorable votes from the UN member every year, yet there is no significant effort to be made to address the problem. Third, humanity should always be put first, beyond any political agenda, let alone a single country's political agenda. The Secretary General's report clearly highlights the declining of life quality of the people of Cuba, particularly vulnerable groups such as children, women, and elderly people. Increasing infant mortality rate, deteriorating health system, and difficulty to access basic food and medicines, children deprived from their rights to education are unacceptable. Therefore, Indonesia urges for the immediate implementation of this resolution and continues to underline the importance of an enhanced and constructive dialogue to this aim. Thank you, Mr. President.
I thank the distinguished representative of Indonesia